Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We have come here to Reading to address a very serious issue, and one which concerns both Muslim communities and non-Muslim communities. The question is, when the government gives money to Muslim organizations for counter-terrorism, what do these Muslim organizations do? Today, we're going to investigate the case of the Salafi publications and their offshoots and associates, a group of people who have a record of accepting money from Prevent and other counter-extremism agencies with the pretense of being able to counter or de-radicalize, if you like, Muslim people. The question is that really what they're doing with the money? Is it advisable for taxpayers' money to go on such services and such activities when in fact there can be evidences and there are allegations of the money being misappropriated? Today we're going to speak to one of the affected parties in Reading in a famous case where there is compelling evidence for the allegation of a misappropriation of funds. We will talk about, with our key witness, some of the real problems pertaining to how these organizations make the initial bid to de-radicalize Muslim communities, take money, and we don't see the fruits of such de-radicalization at all. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm here in Reading with Abu Hafsa, one of the main witnesses for this case which of misappropriation of wealth, and basically this case is about £16,500 that have been taken from council money and actually misappropriated completely. So what I'm going to be asking Abu Hafsa today is about the evidence for that. Assalamu alaikum, how are you, Abu Hafsa?
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
I'm going to put Abu Hafsa's social media details in my description box so you can see a list of all documents that will be referred to today on his Twitter, and also I'll be making a specific reference to certain documents and putting those specific documents in the description box as well. So my first question is, £16,500 you allege has been taken and misappropriated by this community or these individuals that have taken it. What is your evidence for that?
Okay, our evidence is that we have a witness who was involved in the whole project.
Yes.
A brother whose name is Isa Manda. And he first informed us that these brothers, meaning the brothers who were running the masjid that was called Reading Islamic Information Center,
yes,
that they applied for funding under the Prevent scheme and they were awarded the funding. At first when we heard this, we were kind of surprised. Well, I was shocked actually to find that those brothers had received this funding, because I was not aware of this. So I've asked Isa, look, you need to prove this, so you need to bring your evidences. So Isa, Jazakallah khairan to him, he went to the council the following day and I went with him. So we both went to the council and Isa obtained the documents from the council. So what he obtained was that he obtained a bid document, which is an application which the brothers put forward requesting the funding, and we received a contract from the council between...
And you have those documents?
Yes, of course. I'll put them in.
Yep.
You can add them to your link. They're on my Twitter account.
Right.
So the second document was a contract between them and the council stating where they got to spend the money and X, Y, Z. And then the end of the year report, which they produced, and in that report is where they justify where this money went. And that's going to be kind of the main evidence, the end of the year report, because in that report they've lied in there and claimed that they've paid people and stuff which they hadn't.
Right, so let's get this clear. The council gave £16,500 on Prevent for anti-terrorism related activities to these individuals who claim to be Salafi, etc. And you're saying that the money that was given was not used for those anti-extremism activities, and in fact was misappropriated completely.
Well, from what we know is that they were awarded £16,500.
Yes. And
in the end of the year report, where they're justifying where the money went, they claim to have paid witnesses, which they hadn't paid. I'll give you a few examples. I don't want to go through so many.
Right. So I've got the same document here.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this is my witness report, which obviously you can add to your documents.
Mm-hmm.
And in the end of the year report, they've mentioned that this brother called Abu Sufyan Abdul Karim McDowd,
Mm-hmm.
who is coming in every week to do, who's one of the main speakers.
Yes.
They claim to have paid him, and we have a witness statement from him saying that he didn't receive any funds from them.
Right.
And his fuel and other expenses and the food and everything else was covered by the brothers.
Right.
Mainly by myself.
Yep.
Another example is this.
You paid for that yourself?
Yeah, mainly.
Yep.
I was the main contributor towards these events.
Okay.
Another point to mention is in the end of the year report, they mentioned that they held a female-only event, which was cupping delivered by a qualified female cupper.
Now, cupping, what's that got to do with anti-terrorism?
Exactly. Now,
Yeah.
funny thing about it is the actual female cupper was the wife of one of the main du'at.
Abdul Ilah Lahmani.
Exactly, yeah. Dr. Abdulillah Lahmani.
Mm-hmm.
And when I approached him or texted him and I asked him, did your wife get paid for this event? He said no.
And you've got that detail? You've got that evidence?
I may have. I'll have to look for it. But
Yeah.
it's well known. I believe it's in one of the recordings.
Yes. It's on your Twitter.
recordings,
People can go. Yeah.
that on
Okay.
Twitter. But anyway, it's a well-known fact. So I've questioned Abdulillah Lahmani regarding this and said, did your wife get paid by the brothers for this event? And he said no.
Right.
Also, another example is that it claims here that in December 2010 they had a mini conference, which they did. In that conference, both of the main du'at, one of them, Abu Khatija Abdul Wahid and Abu Hakim Bilal Davis, both came to Reading and did that conference. In the Birmingham meeting, we questioned them, and there's myself and Isa and Bilal, and we have Abdul Latif was also present, and they're a witness to that. And they were surprised that they didn't even know that their names were being used for this event.
Right, and so they denied that they got any
denied
payment.
that they received any fundings, and also they were surprised, and they grilled Shahid in the meeting because they were unaware.
And this is a meeting that you had with them?
Yeah, this was a meeting we had in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
And the details in the meeting is on my Twitter account if anybody wants to check that out. Another thing is, another thing they mentioned was the beginner Arabic course. Now this Arabic course did take place for 6 weeks, I believe. But
Okay.
it was only for an hour a week.
Okay. Were the instructors paid?
I don't know what Arabic has to do with fighting terrorism anyway.
Right.
And one of the main issues with this is that it was not in the original application.
Yes.
So in the original...
In the bid.
In the bid
initial,
document. So when you read the bid document, it states that £9,000 will be paid for 2 part-time workers or 3 part-time workers.
Yes.
I think it says 2 part-time
Yes, it says
workers,
2 part-time, yeah.
A mini conference of £1,500, which they were awarded for, and a £2,000 for admin and management, and printing and publication of literature, £1,500.
Was there any literature that was produced?
Nothing at all.
So leaflets in terms
No
of...
leaflets, nothing that was produced by the brothers at all. So this is one of the main problems we have, is that the brothers that claim to have worked and
It says also here for an £1,000 for internet web page.
no internet web page was ever existed at that time.
Okay.
So this is what led us to believe that those brothers stole the funds, because none of these things that mentioned here were done. So getting back to that. So we mentioned about the contract between them and the council already. Yeah. So out of the whole event, some things did take place.
Yes.
But those activities that they mentioned they paid for, those speakers
Were not paid.
Yeah, were not paid. And most of the expenses were covered by either myself or a few of the other brothers.
And you have some evidence for this? If anyone were to ask you, like, you know...
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
And here's the question. Do they have evidence of the contrary?
Well, this is what we asked them. We've been asking them for almost 3 years now.
Right.
So what we'd like for them to do is bring us evidence or proof or receipts that
are dated to this time?
Are dated back at that time.
Yep.
They're going back, 2009 and 10, 11. I believe they put the application in 2009, but they awarded the money around 2010. So 2010 and 2011, that was the time they were awarded the money. And at that time, it started off as a centre, but it became a masjid. So in fact, the actual contract that they signed with the council was in August, and it became a masjid a few months before that.
Right. So, can you explain what kind of effect this has had on the community? Because here, what we know from the discussions that we've had is that they started making accusations about you guys, and after that, they started doing a boycott on you guys. So, what is this? What happened in the community after these kind of allegations were made, with the evidences provided that we've just seen here, which are quite compelling, to be fair? What happened after that in terms of
the first thing we did is when we tried to contact the brothers privately first and tried to talk to them and say, look, Isa's came with this accusation, but he's brought evidences.
Yes.
And we've seen these documents. And in these documents, the end of the report is full of lies, clear lies. And all these things that you claimed to have done were actual masjid activities. And I'll give you a few examples. Like one of them they mentioned was that the Quran class.
Yes.
Now, as for the Quran
the children's Quran class?
The children's Quran class, the teacher himself was Isa Manda, and he confirmed he didn't get paid from any funding, and rather the parents had paid for that.
We met Isa today,
That's
isn't
right,
it?
yeah, Isa Manda. He's confirmed that to you brothers. And he's also confirmed that the parents were paying for that. We have witness statements from the parents that said that we're paying for the Quran.
So the parents are paying for it, the government thinks that they're paying for it.
Exactly.
And the government thinks that they're paying for it to fight extremism.
Which I don't see what's that to do with extremism. But
no, but this shows you, I mean, it's not even in the initial bid, is it?
It's not, no. So in the initial bid, these things that they mentioned in the end of year report are not in the initial bid. And things like the weekly classes, Abu Sufyan's confirmed that he didn't get paid for that. The female couple, we've confirmed that with Abdullah Al-Ahmani. And if he denies it, then I'm ready to take a mubala with him.
Mubahala, you want to do mubahala?
Mubala with him, inshallah.
Yep.
The mini conference was done, and Abu Hakim and Abu Khatija in the conference, both of them. And we have, alhamdulillah, 3-4 witnesses.
Well, we've met some of your witnesses today, haven't we? They were a bit camera shy, but we've met at least 2 of them today. And we've been on the phone to numerous others, and it does seem like there is corroborating witness testimony to everything you've just said.
Of course. So initially we wanted to deal with it in-house, if you like, and then we asked the brothers that we requested that they give us an explanation of what took place.
Yes.
And show us the proof of where this money got spent.
Abdul Wahid Abu Khadija's involvement and Paul Davis, when they found out about this, what was their reaction?
Well, we contacted them ourselves to have a meeting, and it was agreed, and we went to this meeting, and at that meeting, those both, Abu Hakim and Abu Khatija, were judging in the affair. We were kind of surprised. We didn't expect that. We just thought it was going to be a meeting. We sent them the evidence, and we thought they were going to question those brothers and XYZ. What took place in the meeting is a statement that we put together. So if you relate to that statement, it's there on Twitter, and you can get all the details there. But in that meeting, it was judged by Abu Hakim that there was misappropriation of funds, and that it was suggested for Shahid.
And you have evidence for that?
We have the witness statements here,
yes,
of the brothers that were present in the meeting. And also we have recordings and so on.
You do have that, yeah?
We have some recordings, yes, some CCTV footage and audio recordings. But anyway, our question is quite simple, really. Where did the money go?
That's right. What did you do with the money?
That's right. What did you do with the money?
Right.
That's what it comes down to. So when we went to Birmingham, we, as I said, Abu Hakim and Abu Khatija, Abu Hakim judged that there was misappropriation of funds, and that it was suggested that Shahid to be stepped down from the Shura. Now, 4 years.
Now, Shahid is the one who is.
Shahid Fareed was the main guy.
Yeah, the one who's doing this misappropriation.
That's right. And 3-4 years down the line, if you go to Lidford Road, you still see Shahid holding the bucket.
You'll still see him now if you go now.
Yeah, I challenge you. Go to Juma, and you'll still
maybe after this video he'll change his mind.
And, I'll also send you an audio clip of one of the members that was in the meeting in Birmingham in the name of Abu Junaid, and you will hear Abu Junaid stating, even in a secret recording, where he states that it's not from hikmah for Shahid to be holding the bucket.
Oh, yes.
So if Shah didn't steal anything, then what's the problem with him holding the bucket? So, we have a problem with this, inshallah.
And so what you're saying is that there was this misappropriation of funds, and because of the gang mentality related to this this gang, Abu Khadija and Abu Bilal Paul Phillips, they tried to cover it all up, and not only did they cover it up, but they tried to attack you for coming out with this.
Well, that's exactly what happened. So what happened in the beginning was we went to them and they judged this, and we left it at that. We thought, we just move forward with the dawah, and alhamdulillah, we were under the assumption that things were going to be okay. But then we came back to Reading, and the brothers in Reading were attacking us on the minbar and accusing of us being liars and fitna makers and so and so.
So this is all economic then? We thought, gullible we are, to think that a lot of these things, a lot of these problems that are happening with tabdi'ah and labeling and things like that are actually related to the religion. But what's being said here seems to be the case, that they're using religion as an ammunition, if you like, to further their own economic project. That's the allegation.
Well, that's the allegation. There's a lot of allegations. But anyway, getting back to what we were saying, after that, they started attacking us, and Abu Khadija himself came to Reading and did a lecture, and in that lecture he accused the brothers of being infiltrators and fitna makers and lies and so on.
Wow.
So this is why we decided in January to go out public and to defend our honor. The only reason why we went public was to defend our honor.
Yes.
Because we based our accusation based upon evidences.
So now it's on them to prove.
Of course.
They have to. The ball is in their court. Since you made the allegations and you put the evidences forward, they have to produce the receipts, as you've mentioned.
Yeah, you've got to produce the receipts and show us where this money has spent.
And I want to ask a final question. When they've come to Reading, what was the difference in da'wah between before and after they've come and they put their hand into the affairs of the Reading community, Muslim community?
I think in general there wasn't any issue with the brothers. The brothers were united. We were together. There's one individual in particular that came, and he had, other agendas, if you like. But this brother is the one that kind of, was a bit, he had the shiddah with him and harshness with him, and that's when we noticed the dawah begin to change, and they started making a hajar of a few.
Which is boycott.
Which is boycott. They boycotted a few Salafis, and we've asked them for evidences. So when we question them, this is where they kind of, turn their guns at us, if you like.
And we've got information that suggests, obviously we can't go into too much detail, but they've got many companies, either limited companies or charities, that get hundreds of thousands of pounds, like, Salafi Publications charity in 2014, which is not far away from this time, got £1 million in funds. We can't make any allegations on a legal level, but is it safe to assume that a lot of that money is coming from Prevent, and should Prevent and the government and the council, in your opinion, would you advise them to be more cautious as to how and why they would give money to people that have a track record of this?
That's the question. The question is, when you look into the whole Reading affair,
yes,
one thing I picked up and noticed that the actual initial application that was given to the council, in there's mentioned that the Reading organisation is affiliated with the Birmingham organisation, which was Inner City Guidance.
Yes, which is Paul Davis's organisation.
That is Abu Hakim's organisation.
So can you make that point again? So which one is associated with which?
So in the documentation, in the initial bid, which is the application they put forward to the council, it mentions there where they mentioned that they worked with or they affiliated with
Inner City Guidance.
Inner City Guidance, which is
Paul Davis's
Abu Hakim's organisation. So the question is,
which has been dissolved, by the way.
Which has been dissolved. Yeah. No accounts.
No accounts. Yes.
So yeah. Lo and behold.
No accounts, because it changed into a charity. I've looked and seen.
That's right.
And even on that, there's no accounts.
Well, yeah.
But we know from what you're saying that there was money pumped into that as well.
The question is, why the cover-up?
Yes.
Why this big cover-up, and why try to, cover this whole thing up? So but there's a lot of questions. And Allah knows best. I'm not going to accuse them.
Yeah, we can't go to
evidences. But as for Reading, it's clear cut.
It's clear cut.
It's clear cut. Yeah. We've produced the evidences.
Now they have to produce the receipts.
Now they have to come and bring their receipts and show us where this money is gone.
So there's another allegation that the Reading Islamic Information Centre have been using Mu'adh bin Jabal's charity registration number to claim tax relief, which is actually an allegation of council tax fraud.
Yes, I did some research. Only when the landlord wanted to sell the building, so me being an estate agent in the business, I done a little research and called up the council and believe the link is, you can add the link of the audio, and I'm questioning the council regarding this, and they told me that the building is registered under Markaz Mu'adh bin Jabal. To my surprise, I was quite shocked. So I went to go visit the brothers in Slough and arranged to see Abdullah al-Ahmani, and I approached him and I questioned him regarding this, and he was shocked and amazed at the time. And you'll hear from the secret recording where the brothers were concerned with this, and I said to them, look, these individuals are using your charity status, is this a fraud that they've done, or are you implicating this, or did you give them permission? They denied it. They denied they gave permission to them. But later on down the line, a month later, once I sent them the evidences, there's an audio on my Twitter account where Abdullah al-Ahmani is very upset, and he claims that he did give them permission, and he claims that he couldn't remember. So again, this is a serious fraud, and these individuals, the likes of Abdullah al-Ahmani, Abu Khatij and Abu Hakim, who are involved in the dawah, is a big question mark on their adala and their trustworthiness.
Absolutely. Would you say that there has been a sectarianism, hizbiyya as it's referred to in Arabic, in the treatment of Muslims, generally Sunni Muslims, that claim to even be Salafi? They claim to be Salafi, and then now they're being boycotted, they're being attacked because they're coming up with these evidences in Reading and say, look, we've paid for these things and all of the things are happening, and now you've boycotted us and attacked us. Have you experienced any of that yourself?
Well, this is what's amazed us brothers. You have these individuals who claim to be upon Salafiyya, and they claim to be people of evidence and claim to be people of truth and haqq and so and so. And we're amazed, wallahi, we're amazed. We get brothers that call us and they say, Akhi, we're hearing this and that, and why is Asif lying about the brothers? And when you question them and you say, Akhi, have you gone through the evidences? No. Have you looked at have you seen the voice notes? Have you seen the mountainful evidences we provided? And you find no. So it's like, well, how did you come to that conclusion?
Right.
How can you judge that the brothers are lying when we've based everything upon evidences? So yes, definitely 100%. It seems to be a hizbiyya, clear-cut hizbiyya with them.
So in other words, you're saying that they think they're immune to criticism. There'll be a cover-up. If anything happens within the Muslim community and they're involved, they'll always vouch for their own.
Well, it seems like that. What we can see is, blatant with regards to double standards and everything else. So it amazes me. Wallahi, amazes me. And the situation in Reading, wallahi, it's a sad situation because we've had the boycotting of Salafi brothers without justification and evidences, attacking Salafi brothers from the minbar, warning against Salafi brothers, not returning the salam to the brothers and the general folk.
So to conclude, with the recent scandal with Hassanat and Abdullah, where they've been leading double lives, it's led the Muslim community to investigate who else is leading a double life, if you like. Who else is taking money, saying that they're going to do one thing with that money and then doing something completely different with it? Who else is scamming not only the Muslim community but the non-Muslim community and even the government with money? And our investigations lead us to these kinds of places where historic cases, cold cases even, have been re-emerged out of the surface. We unearthed them, if you like, and lots of evidences have been brought forward. Now the ball is in the court of those individuals and Salafi publications, as we mentioned, an organisation in 2014 alone which got £1 million of charity funding. Now we want to understand where they got that money from in the first place, because their social media accounts don't suggest that they can get that kind of money from general fundraising or masjid fundraising. But if we were to assume that that was from the government, and these kinds of things are happening here in Reading, how does that give either the government or other Muslims the confidence to give you money in order to quote-unquote de-radicalize people? And how is it de-radicalization when in fact people become more and more radical in their attitude towards other Muslims? It seems to us that there has been a flaw in the prevent strategy, a real problem in the way both Prevent have reacted to Muslim communities, and as a result, how Muslim communities react to Prevent. So this case of Reading has opened up many different windows of inquiry, and in this interview we've been able to see how things can go really wrong, both for those organizations who claim to be, let's say for example, Salafi in this case, and for the government who claim to be giving money or think that they're giving money for the de-radicalization of Muslim people. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.